I don't think you can stay at the top of the table for 247 days and then not win it. And
what about that experience from doing that?
Doesn't matter.
Plus potentially Declan Rice coming into that midfield.
Potentially. I still think it's more than just Declan Rice.
Can you see Liverpool pushing for the title, or do you think it's just clearly second?
Clearly second.
Yeah, I agree. We all agree on something wild. 4 in a row. Never been done. We all basically think history is going to be made. What's happening, everyone, and welcome to 888 Sports. On this episode of the playlist, we're going to be predicting how the Premier League table will look in 12 months' time. There's an amnesty. Predictions haven't been my thing, but we're going to start again, and I'm going to give this the due diligence that it deserves. So, from 1 to 5, how does the Premier League table finish next season? Let's go. Okay. There's only one position here that I'm sure about. There's one position, and it's number 1.
Yeah, it's the only one I'm guaranteed.
Okay, everyone happy?
No, but go on.
Go for it.
Oh.
So you have not got Manchester United anywhere?
And that's what I was like, what
God,
am I doing?
I love you, mate. I hope you're right.
That's what I was like, what am I doing? But
you haven't got Chelsea anywhere?
I'm not putting Chelsea.
Let's have a look at your Steve.
No Chelsea.
No Chelsea.
I still think it's going to work.
I'm not, but I can't. Sorry, not backing it. Even if I think you will, I'm not writing it down.
Everyone's got Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal.
This is a rogue shout.
I think Liverpool are back.
No,
it's rogue.
Manchester United second. Abby's
It's
got Manchester United
second.
Second, that's rogue.
I'll tell you why. Right?
Go
I'll
ahead.
tell you why. If they get Harry Kane this summer, that's what I'm basing it off of.
Yeah, that changes everything, doesn't it?
If they get Harry Kane this summer, they're going to be some outgoings as well. It changes everything.
It's going to rise from 4th to 4th. It's going to be impressive.
You're all believing the Newcastle project, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. I think they're going to struggle a little.
I think they'll struggle, but I've got them.
Because they'll be Champions League football.
Obviously, I'm petty. I put Arsenal fit.
2 games a week and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It could be a bit too much
And
for
also
them.
the size of the squad for Newcastle.
But
Squad depth.
presumably they
Add a couple more.
They're not going to go and do what you did and spend like 600 million.
They can't.
They've got FFP. So for me, Newcastle, it's going to be, they'll be playing in Europe, but how they manage that, Thursday, Sundays,
20-year
squad
contract.
depth,
See, I've had to
quality.
put Chelsea, and I've therefore.
You don't believe that though? You don't?
I think Chelsea. I think with Chelsea, when we've spoken in previous episodes of this show, and I've said we were foolish because we backed Tottenham and we should never do that again. I think the opposite is true of Chelsea. Never doubt them. Chelsea finished 10th and won the league.
Yeah, I know. You have an option to do that.
We have a track record that suggests that we bounce back.
Yes, you can do that, and you have done it, but I don't think you've done it with this quality of teams to bridge the gap.
Yeah,
No. And it's all
Everyone's got money
It's a
now.
hard factor, isn't it?
Everyone's got money now.
It just doesn't feel
everyone's
like
big.
Abramovich.
And also, I think the thing is with Chelsea and Chelsea fans, they're not notoriously patient. So having, I assume, Pochettino at this point he needs to be able to do what he needs to do in terms of get out the players in your squad who are never going to play for Chelsea or are not at that level. He needs to integrate what he wants to integrate. Do I think that you are going to necessarily hit the ground running? Maybe not. I think you maybe be here.
You've got Arsenal 5th, Abby.
Yeah. It's just
So you
'cause
think they're going to go from 2nd to 5th?
they haven't played Champions League football for
Good shout.
7-8 years?
Good shout.
Again, different Thursday, Sunday. Again,
They
we've seen
they
actually
said their legs are tired now.
their legs are tired now. Wait till you're
But the
playing
Europa
Champions
League is a harder competition, not in terms of
went out
not in
and
terms
played.
of the Europa League in terms of a grueling schedule.
Yeah, but they didn't even get to necessarily the grueling part of it. They went out in February.
So 5th.
Sorry.
So, okay, talk me through 5th though, because that 2nd to 5th is a drop.
It's a drop, but again, I see a lot of similarities in this Arsenal side that I saw with Tottenham's young side when they were going. Again, we were still finishing in the top 4, but we didn't have Newcastle as a contender. For me, Liverpool, again, they're going to do some hard work in this summer. I think you can see already the way the Klopp's adapted. Planning ahead for next season. They're not going to be, and struggling how they have been. Obviously, the back end of the season, they've improved dramatically and they can still get top 4. So for me, I think Liverpool are in there. As I said, the United one is quite rogue for me, but I am basing that on if they get Harry Kane.
That's interesting. I think that you've been very harsh on Arsenal and very generous to Manchester
Quite
United.
possibly, but what do you expect from me?
No, of course.
Will struggle in the same way that Arsenal will, though, I reckon.
Also, what are Arsenal going to do in the summer?
We've all agreed, the 3 of us lads have agreed on the top 3. in order. We've got the top three the same. So
Is
we
it?
all see a resurgence
I
of
could
Liverpool.
easily have
that
Arsenal
could be a
dropping, by
gap
the way.
between second and third. It could be notable. It could be that Arsenal. I think Liverpool. I think they're going to push us again next season. I don't know.
I think Liverpool's enter this season,
Suggests that they're ready.
7 in a row, suggests to me that they're already ready for next season. And I do think the midfielders have been sort of looked at as well. I think we're good for next season.
But do you know what? I disagree. I agree that in the order, because that's how I wrote it. But I disagree with you, Steve, because I just think that...
I think Man City have gone.
I think it's that. Can you see Liverpool pushing for the title, or do you think it's just clearly second?
Clearly second.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, clearly second.
What's that look like
I hate
points
saying
gaps?
that.
Yeah,
I hate saying that, but
They're
the
clearly-
midfielders are going to have to come and
I agree.
integrate.
I think Liverpool will clearly be the
Van
second best
Dijk's
team in
off
the
it a little
country,
bit.
but nowhere
I'm
near the
not
first
sure about
season.
Canate.
The only potential real mess here is that I don't know what's going to happen, but there is talk of Gundogan and Bernardo leaving and Laporte.
Yeah,
So
but
it's a big rebuild. I know eventually it's going to hit
that's
us at some
massive.
point. It's going to hit us
Mate,
at
that's
some
massive.
point.
Gundogan and
Because
Bernardo's massive.
City is so much built around midfielders, and when you look at the quality over the years City have had, if you were losing a centre back or a right back or even a winger like with Jesus and Sterling, it's just the midfielders.
But you won't lose them all. Like, he won't allow a situation where
Well, Gundogan's out of
Gundogan's on a
contract.
free
He's out of
transfer,
contract.
so
He's
could
done.
go.
Yeah, but they can easily organise that. And equally, if
Essentially.
he
Well,
if he
he
goes,
apparently wants to.
surely they convince
You know,
Bernardo
another
Silva to
thing we're
stay
not thinking.
again.
I know we always think that they go again. If they win the treble, mentally to go again.
I think we'll
Won't
do
be
it,
that
but I don't
easy.
think it's a set in stone. I'm going to put us down, obviously. I've done
You know
that.
what? I'm changing it. Liverpool title.
Oh, mate.
I'm not
You're
doing
looking
that
forward to
again.
next-
I did that with you last year.
changing it.
last
I'm
You've got
changing it.
much more to do than City.
I'm changing it. I'm changing it. I think Liverpool.
But you know,
I think they're going to have what we had last
but
season. They're going to drop off.
Everything
Just
that
set
you've
you up
said,
here, Anna, for the video next year.
everything that you've said about Manchester City, you know, potentially losing
Got a rebuild
players,
midfield
you've
too.
got a worse rebuild than they have. Even if they do lose their two midfielders.
No, they need a whole midfield as well. They need
No,
two of the most
Your
influential midfielders. in the-
rebuild,
Definitely do.
your
We
rebuild is
potentially do.
bigger than their rebuild. If
What
we're
do you
making,
think our rebuild is that you're saying this? Let me hear what you think it is, and then I will counter or agree.
I think what Liverpool need
Yeah.
is a new centre half to partner Van Dijk.
No.
No.
Canate. You don't like Canate?
I mean, not as a league winner. I think
He's
there's
all
questions.
right. I don't,
I
think
don't
he'll win either.
rate Canate that highly either.
One second, you've got Romero and Dyer. Keep going.
No, but they're not
And
talking
I'm
about winning the league,
Experience.
though. They're
I'm
not
very
talking about winning the
critical
league.
of that.
They're not talking about winning the
We're
league.
talking about finishing top 10.
I mean, I don't even think this
I'll
is
give you the rest. I'll give you
controversial.
the rest.
This isn't controversial. If we're making it about City's rebuild, when they're brilliant, your rebuild is worse.
I think it's two. I think it's two.
Well,
centre
you think
midfielders.
you're in a better position?
I think it's two centre midfielders. That's all I think it is.
You need more
I think
than
it's two
that.
centre
Isn't
midfielders.
Trent Alexander-Arnold now going to be reimagined as a midfielder?
no,
In which case
no.
you need a right back.
It's
No, we go. No,
world-class
he doesn't
midfielders.
like that. He goes to 4, then it goes to a 3 when he is in possession. Then he goes into the midfield. Then he drops back.
It's Bellingham level you need, and you've already distanced yourself from that. Like that's the level that you need. And like, who is it going to be? Like I just don't see.
McAllister.
I think you'll be
Okay, he's
surprised.
quality.
I don't
But it's
think
not
it is
enough.
that.
Why are we saying?
Winning.
Why are we all in
What about
agreement that
Well, are we in
Arsenal
agreement?
don't challenge at the
I don't
very
think they
top?
challenge. I think this is
they
the closest
could.
they'll ever
I just
come.
think they'll.
That could come back to bite me, but
Yeah.
I don't care. This
think-
is the closest I think they'll ever come.
I don't think
Why
third would be a
though?
terrible season for them though.
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Because I don't think you can stay at the top of the table for 247 days
Okay,
and
but-
then not win it.
What
And I think
about that
that's
experience from doing that?
doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Plus potentially Declan Rice coming into that midfield.
Potentially, I still think it's more than just Declan Rice. I do.
I
I think
just
it's a
don't
challenge.
think-
Look at how Liverpool have done it year in, year out with City and taken them all the way. I will happily eat my words if that's the case.
I think they'll do better than you're saying, but I do agree. Declan Rice.
I think
doesn't
there'll
make
be a
them-
battle between third and fourth.
League. I think Declan
Sorry,
Rice.
fourth.
Not to win the league.
Yeah.
Third.
Third, I got
think
third as well. I
yeah,
agree.
third.
Third.
I
I've
think
got
third.
third.
I mean, there's a slight drop off.
I think that experience from this season, even for Arteta as well as a manager, I think.
still a good season.
And by the way,
I-
the
I'm not
signings.
patronising, it is.
And I do think it'll be more than just Declan Rice. I think we're all saying Declan Rice. I think there maybe like a couple more.
And so nobody has got Chelsea anywhere near this.
I've got 5th.
I'm not pitching.
You've got
I've
Chelsea
got
on,
5th
okay.
just because I think you're bringing a good manager in. And I know you like to say, like, I think Poch is a good manager. And I know you like to say, like,
Same.
Sterling's the best player at that club. Chelsea got a good squad of players,
Chelsea for me, not in the
I'm
top
happy
four.
to get rid of Chelsea for Man United,
I think
'Cause
United.
he's not confident about it
United
at all.
four for me.
United, I've put
four.
second, but I can
No.
move them.
He's not confident about his own
I'm
club.
basing my
He's the
Chelsea
thing,
shout
United.
on tribalism
But
a
I'm
bit
basing it on.
Yeah.
and history.
And any Spurs fans in this who are watching this, I'm not selling Kane. This is not me pushing Kane
No,
to
I
go.
think you're right. I
I'm
think
just
they'll go for him.
considering if that what happens, I think is going to happen.
So do you know what we all agree? We all agree on something wild. 4 in a row. never been done. We all basically think history is going to be made. That's crazy, isn't it? We are witnessing
They're
history.
crazy.
You know what that is? That's Pep Guardiola.
They're crazy.
It is. And City fans, not all of us, but a lot of us feel like, enjoy this while it lasts, because I do think it's Pep. I don't think it's Manchester City. I think a lot of it's down to Pep.
agreed,
Pep's
agreed.
a genius. And I think we're going to have to accept a bit of a drop-off when he goes, because I think it happens everywhere. He's just too
Abby
good.
sees a resurgent Manchester United. Abby, you talk us, why United? You basically think if they get Kane, they're
I think
ready.
Kane will be the difference for them. I think, again, they'll recruit in the summer. I think they'll also ship out a lot of their own deadwood. And this is not me selling Kane to United, Spurs fans, please come for me. It's not. It's just, Spurs are going to finish without any European football. I think it's either they cash in on him for Daniel Levy's sake. Obviously, it won't go down very well, or you let him go on a free. So if I don't care either way. Then for me, I think that's a major difference
Okay.
for
I've got them
United.
fourth, but I agree Kane could be, he changes everything.
Changes
And
everything.
where have you got Newcastle at?
I've got them fourth.
So you've all got Newcastle.
Newcastle
No,
fourth.
Fifth.
we've got Newcastle.
No,
not
I don't have
making top
United
four.
in my
You
list.
didn't even
but
put Newcastle.
honestly,
on
I didn't have United.
I had to fit in
but
Chelsea.
if it's United
Take that
with
out.
Kane, then it's a different conversation.
It's been interesting. Basically, we don't have to agree, do we? This is our list.
We'll revisit it in a year.
Oh God.
God.
I look forward to that video. That's going to be great.
Imagine if Spurs win the league and we haven't even put them anywhere.
Yeah, we'll cross that imaginary
yeah.
bridge when we get there. I look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for your support throughout the entire season. We have loved it. We will see you all very, very soon. In a bit.